tell, so I'm going to give you a mini lesson today, and if you want more info, search out those long tones videos. But basically, a long tone is taking one note and playing it for a long time. And the way to make it an effective warm-up for clarinet is to take that note and see how softly you can play it with your speed. What happens for all of us is we get to a certain soft point and our tone starts to get airy and fuzzy. That's the nature of the instrument. As soon as we hear that airy, hissy, fuzzy sound, it means we've got some air going into the clarinet that's not quite going. And as we get softer, of course, we're turning down the volume of air. It's like if we had a water faucet. Instead, it's like an air faucet built into our body. As we have less air moving through the instrument, there's less stuff to get the movement. That means we need to take that small amount of air and move it even faster. Very similar to if I had a fully production something and someone came along and turned down the faucet, and suddenly I have half as much water, I could turn my spray valve to adjust the spray faster, so it still had a lot of impact. That's what we do with our air. So your goal in the long tone is to be very mindful. You can start with an open G. We all know how to play open G. As long as you've put a clarinet in your mouth and gotten a note, that's the G where all the holes are open. That's just the note we play automatically. So what I recommend is we start loud and clear and gradually get softer. And what you'll hear is a point at which you start to hear, I'm going to exaggerate it so it might even come through your computer, kind of an airy sound. So there I have some pitch of that G, but I also have a lot of it. And you want to get rid of that. So the idea is as soon as you start to hear that hiss, you speed your air to get rid of that and get a clearer sound. Sometimes we temporarily get louder when we do this, but the idea is we just keep adjusting it and challenging ourselves. I would typically play 1 minute without a minute and get it as soft as I can, and as I warm up, it gets easier and easier to get soft. So a mini version would look something like this. And here's my imaginary spray valve. I'm going to let my tone buzz out as I use less air, and then I'm going to adjust my blowing muscles to speed up the small amount of air so that I get rid of some of that fuzz. Usually when we play loudly, our goal is to go quite soft. Start with open G. Now, the higher you go, the more challenging it is to get the notes soft and clear. So do challenge yourself and play notes that you're comfortable playing. If you're a beginner on clarinet, open G is a great place to start. Just do that. If you're more advanced, I would go an octave higher. Do it on a high G. You're going to find this note wimps out sooner. And then do it on a high C, super reactive. If you're a more advanced player, then I give you the ultimate model. Thumb and first finger, first 2 fingers on your left hand, and use this hole off these 2 fingers. You'll see I've used this fingering in other videos as well. This is a really volatile note. It doesn't like to play well, but if you can play this note softly, oh, you got a great warm up and you're really getting your air to do what you want it to. Now this note likes to crack. Soft level, you can go the high G sharp. What you can do if it starts to crack, by cracking I mean you'll get an undertone. If you're on a low sound, you can start huffing your air in little huffs. And that brings that air and make those little huffs gradually soft and soft. And then once I'm huffing softly, I can gradually lengthen those huffs until I'm actually sustaining them. And now I'm playing that volatile fingering quite softly. I really feel it right here, which are the muscles that I want to warm up for blowing and breathing. So this is a very mindful warm-up because I'm really paying attention to my breathing. And as soon as my air gets in the bad habit of moving too slowly, so the roots play very well, I'm correcting it. It doesn't work as well if you're just kind of playing a soft, fuzzy, airy note, because then you're reinforcing very mindful. I usually play 2 or 3 or 4 different long tones, depending on how much time you spend. That could be 3 or 4 minutes of your warm-up. Even if that's all you did, and then you went into your normal stuff, you're going to notice an improvement in your playing. So I really recommend you try that. For the next part of your warm-up, I recommend taking one more aspect of your playing and give yourself an understanding of all of your positions on that. Now here's where you get started. It might be that you've been playing a piece of music and you notice that maybe crossing the break from A to B, that's not working so well. So you might want to create a finger exercise. And again, I have lots of videos that show you different kind of things you can do, but let's just take that as an example. If I was focusing on fingers, I would look in the mirror where I can see my fingers. I'd make sure they're arched and relaxed and not moving very much, and I would just play those 2 notes. Right now I'm just fingering them back and forth. I would use my hands. If I see they're moving a lot, I'm going to rein them in and get them moving next. And that's all I'm going to do, just back and forth. So I'll start with them not so good, and then I'll improve them and see how I might do this. And again, this is assuming I'm watching myself in a computer screen or a mirror, so I can see the bad habit. As you can see, I sort of went from flying fingers to not so flying fingers, and it got better and better as I went, and it felt easier to play. That might be it for your fingers. Or you take a couple different intervals. You create them, but the idea is you be really thoughtful. So the messages I'm sending to my unconscious brain there is I want my fingers arched, and I want them to stay close to the bowls, and I don't want them to stop. So I'm very, very consciously and deliberately moving my fingers in a way that I might not do most of the time. I find if people do that for a couple minutes, it does send the message to the part of our brain that controls our fingers that that's the direction we want to head. And even when you go into your other music where you're totally concentrating on the written page and not so much what your fingers are doing, they're going to be improving. Other examples of things you could do, perhaps tonguing is an issue. So you might want to take a simple little tonguing exercise. And again, I'll put a link here to my playlists that sort of list all the videos that I have on YouTube. And you can pick a tonguing exercise if that's something that applies to you this time. But I might do a simple scale where I'm doing a long note and 4 short notes just to get my tongue warmed up. And I might go through the whole range of the instrument that way. So I'm thinking about keeping my air even and my tonguing crisp and short. Just something like that. After that, it's always a great idea to learn some finger patterns that will help you out, or some rhythm patterns, rhythms that we want to work on. I believe that there's part of our brain that kind of learns rhythms, and once we learn them, we don't have to consciously think about those things anymore. They come out very easily. Most of you, your first 5 notes in clarinet were probably G, F, E, D, C. And even a total beginner, after about 2 weeks of clarinet, we can play those notes up and down without really thinking hard about it at all. When you first learn a new note, it takes a lot of concentration to remember where to put your fingers, and then it kind of goes into autopilot mode. Well, there are so many finger patterns on clarinet that are